what's up everyone? It has been forever. I have just been so busy in the salon, enjoying my summer. I have a couple new faces that joined my team. I went on a family vacation to Iceland, but I'm back. I'm back and I'm here to share content with you about color, hair extensions, specifically natural beaded rose, anything hair related, fashion, beauty, makeup, you name it, I'm here. So I'm going to be a lot more consistent with my videos and the content that I share with you. So if there's any questions or videos that you would like to see, make sure you comment below and let me know so I can bring that content your way. And don't forget to subscribe to my page. All right, so today's topic. I wanted to talk to you about natural beaded rose. For anyone that is new to my page, I have been specializing in natural beaded rose for the last 3 years, and it's my preferred extension method. I have found it going through my own hair journey. I have fine, fragile hair. I have compromised the health of my own hair through being certified in about 10 different methods, wearing each one myself, and they kind of just wreaked havoc on my hair. And so I finally found Danielle K. White, the creator of Natural Beaded Rose, a few years ago, and I flew out and learned the method, became certified with her, and that's all she wrote. Like, I took it and ran with it. That's all I do every day behind the chair in my studio. So yeah, you can kind of say that I've become an expert with natural beaded rose. And so I wanted to touch on that subject because I get a lot of questions. If you guys are into hair extensions at all, you know that hand-tied hair, beaded methods, the beaded row, sew-in methods, they're really hot right now. You pick a trigger word. Pretty much the name of the game in the extension world right now is adhesive-free extensions. And there's a lot of different methods out there, and people are constantly preaching, do your research, do your research, do your research, people. And I couldn't agree more. So I wanted to touch on some of the key factors of what to look for when looking for an NBR artist. And why is it different? Why is natural beaded rose specifically different than any other beaded row method out there? And why is it so damn expensive? I get that question all the time, because there are a lot of cheaper options out there with hair extensions, but there's some key points that make Natural Beaded Rose a luxury brand and the most natural looking results. So let's kind of just dive in head first. Why is it so expensive? There's lots of different things that are gonna go on, but the hair itself, let's talk about that. Hand-tied hair. So all of these beaded row sew-in methods, most of them are using hand-tied hair nowadays. There is machine-tied hair and hand-tied hair. Machine-tied hair, it's a little bit bulkier, thicker at the top, and hand-tied hair is really thin. It's gonna lay flatter to your head, be a little bit more seamless, and less bulky. Like, I can run my hand down my head and I don't feel like big chunks in my hair. It's pretty seamless. But hand-tied hair is exactly what it sounds like in its name. It is double drawn thread. So there's 2 pieces of thread, and someone by hand has tied each individual hair on that double drawn thread. So it takes about a full day for someone to make one weft. And to just give you an idea, I am wearing 2 rows of 18-inch hand-tied hair, and I have, it's either 10 or 11 pieces. So it took almost 2 weeks just to make this hair. Not even talking about dyeing it, collecting it, making sure that the cuticle is facing all the same way. So the cuticle, every hair strand has like shingles that are on a roof. And those shingles are all facing the same direction, in a downward direction. And that is what gives your hair shine and keeps it from frizzing. Whenever you start lifting up those shingles, or any kind of chemical process or damage is happening, those shingles lift. It creates tangling, your hair isn't as shiny, so they're making sure that it is cuticle intact, and that cuticle, every single hair on that weft that is hanging down is facing the same direction. Because if the cuticles were facing different directions, it's going to cause matting, because there's going to be friction with all those shingles rubbing up against each other. So the hair itself, it has been through an extensive process just to make it to your head. And it is very, very expensive. Probably the most expensive hair on the market right now. Also because the demand for hand-tied hair is super high right now. So that is one thing to bear in mind. The materials that are required to do natural beaded rows or any kind of beaded row method is extremely high. So that is also going to be reflected in the final ticket price, okay? So now that we've covered the hair itself that you're going to be wearing for the next 4 to 6 months, let's talk about the education that goes into being able to offer this method in your studio. So a lot of certifications and a lot of classes are like 1-2 days and you're done, you're certified. Peace. Here's your piece of paper. You an expert now. Not with natural beaded rows. Well, not everyone with natural beaded rows. Let me choose my words more carefully and let me explain. Okay, so natural beaded rows. Like I said, I found Danielle K. White on YouTube, and I flew out to Laguna. I was in her salon. I can't remember if it was a 2 or a 3 day certification class, but at the end of that class, they hit you with, hey, we have this mastermind group that we are just starting. It is to help troubleshoot and build your skill set with natural beaded rows. Because all of the classes that she was doing beforehand, she noticed one key factor. Natural beaded rows is such a detailed method that people weren't getting the hang of it. So they'd come to this 2-3 day training, go home, do a couple models, they wouldn't have the best experience, and then they kind of throw this tool or this method out the door because they're like, it's not working for me, can't figure it out, it's not that great, whatever. So Danielle took that feedback and created a mastermind group, and your girl was the first 15 people to sign up. My class was the first one where they launched it. And so I was all on it, okay? And I was in that mastermind group for 2 years, and every single day they had us bead and stitch a row in. They would have weekly webinars where we would pop on with Danielle, with her husband, with her lead trainers in this in her salon, teaching us how to cut color wefts, how to stack them, how to create color blends. We'd have hot seats. Your girl sat in a few hot seats where I got to ask specific questions about building my skill set or problems that I might have encountered with my clients and how can I troubleshoot it, what's going on. So for 2 years, every week I was logging on and having FaceTime with the creator and the lead trainers perfecting my craft. That education does not come cheap. It's pretty much, think of a college degree. That's what I've invested in. And Laguna, that became my second home, not even kidding. In those 2 years, I went to Laguna over a dozen times. Yes, a dozen. I shadowed Danielle personally in her salon for an entire day. I was also out there for every convention, for repeat classes. I mean, over a dozen times, you name it, I did it. There was a ton of investment in my education to hone in on this skill set and make sure that I'm knocking it out of the park every single time. So the education was bigger, a bigger investment, more time consuming, more life consuming, just everything about it. It was so deep embedded in me. I can't even think of the word, but it was just, I ate, slept, breathed NBR and this training for 2 full years until now I can proudly say I do it in my sleep. I am able to do a complete transformation with a corrective color, 2-row install, cut, style in 4 hours or less. Which, to give you a little bit of perspective, when you're starting with NBR to do like a corrective color 2-row install with a cut and style, we're talking about 7 hours. I still hear about some people sitting in the salon for 7 hours. Let's be real. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm a hairstylist and I don't even want to be in someone's chair for 7 hours. I'll be screaming at like hour 3, 4, oh my God, get me out of here, I'm done. But to shed your time literally in half, it takes a lot of practice, a huge investment in yourself, and just constant push for growth and constantly being there with the creator of this method as she's teaching it and fine-tuning all those details. So that was a huge investment and a big part of what you're getting when you come and sit in my chair and in my studio. I have shared all of that knowledge and everything that I absorbed from the creator herself with my team. So there's a huge, I don't want to say training curve, but training program in my studio to make sure that every guest that comes in, whether they're sitting in my chair, my sister's chair, or anyone else's chair, that they're getting the same experience across the board. You know, as much as I've invested into me perfecting my craft and honing my skill set, same with every stylist in my studio. For 2+ years, they are beading and stitching every single day. Yes, on vacation, you take your doll head and you are beading and stitching because that's what I did. And it literally only makes you better. When you're doing something every day, it becomes second nature and you get to really perfect your craft. So the education, it cannot, I cannot stress that enough, because there are some people that will go out, fly out to Laguna and do the 2-day class, be certified, hold up the piece of paper and say, yes, I offer NBR in my studio. I'm an NBR specialist, but the investment isn't quite the same. It's like going to school and only making it through the enrollment or onboarding class versus someone that spent the 4 years to get their bachelor degree. Do you want someone that just went through the initiation or someone that truly has the degree? So there's lots of different levels when it comes to an NBR artist, and it's really, really important that you find your artist that is well educated, super passionate about what they do, and that their work holds up, that it doesn't look great in a picture, but it's great in real life, that they have client testimonials talking about the experience and how well it's worked out for them, that this is something they have taken very seriously when offering it in their studio. So that's really, really important. Something else that affects the price point of natural beaded rose, beyond education, beyond the hand-tied hair and the tools that it is required to offer this service, but also the color experience. So I know I talked about making massive investments in my NBR education, but even before NBR, I put a small fortune in my color education. So I am a certified Redken color specialist, which means I flew out to New York City a handful of times, 5 times to be exact, to do all my prereqs and to test out and pass that test, written, practical, and multiple choice. So it's a 3-part exam that you have to pass, and it is a 60-40 pass-fail rate. So it's no joke. On top of all the other education that I have taken on in the color field for the last 14 years. So again, it's more than a college degree that I've invested in my color theory knowledge. I basically have a master's degree in color chemistry. And it's so important that you are seeking someone that not only has a passion for hair extensions, but specializes in color, because something that makes natural beaded rose and beaded row methods in general so seamless and a much better result is the custom coloring. So every single weft, like I said, I have 10 to 11 pieces in my own hair. Every single piece has been custom colored, root smudge, glossed, highlighted, low lighted, whatever it is to blend my hair. And every guest that comes in, they have custom colored hair. Coloring extension hair is extremely different than coloring natural hair. So I have my natural hair experience from working behind the chair for 14 plus years. I have my extension color experience from the 2 years of Mastermind, the 3 years of specializing in natural beaded rose, and just the experience and knowledge behind the theory of color, the science, the chemistry of it, because extension hair does color very different than natural hair. So sometimes it requires a different formula going on the extension hair because we're starting out with a different color on this canvas, and then a different formula on your natural hair because, again, this canvas is starting out at a different place. So taking these two formulas and having enough knowledge that they're gonna turn out and look the same and blend together seamlessly. So it takes a lot of knowledge to be able to do that and a lot of experience. So there's a lot of education behind it. And you wanna make sure that when you are seeking your artist, that they are well versed in both, not only hair extensions, but also the chemistry behind hair color and then the structure of hair itself, because it's a very different fabric, and the structure of hair extensions and the process that it takes to go from the donor's head to the factory to land on your head, and what makes it structurally different, so it takes color very differently. So it is a pretty picture and it definitely is art, but there's a lot of science to it. So you want to make sure that you have someone that is well versed in that science and has that knowledge to make sure that it's going to be a great blend and a great experience for you. So another thing with color to take into place is you're coloring 2 heads. So again, it goes back to the tools and the things required to offer this service. The hand-tied hair itself is very expensive, but not only that, we're coloring your natural hair and we're coloring the extension hair. When coloring extension hair and your natural hair, you're basically coloring 2 heads. So it's double the formula, double the root touch up, double the highlight, double the low light, double the gloss, double everything, because everything that you're doing on your natural hair, we're mimicking and mirroring that on your extension hair to make sure that it's a seamless blend. So again, it's a lot more product being used and invested in your total look. So that is another thing to take into account than other hair extension methods, where they might take it just out of the package and it's somewhat close to your hair. We're gonna cut and curl it and blend it and it's gonna be fine. When it comes to natural beaded rose, we never take anything out of the package and just sew it into your head. Everything is hand painted and fine tuned by your artist. So you also want to make sure that your artist is taking that extra step, that extra time, the extra chemicals, the extra product to make sure that it's going to blend and that you're getting a true NBR experience. So that is another thing to consider with the cost of natural beaded rose versus other extension methods. Another thing that also comes into play and what makes NBR different than any other extension method is the customization. So we are customizing all of the color, but not only that, we're creating a horseshoe track around your head. So we use beads and thread to make a horseshoe shape around your head. Well, this shape is completely customized to your head size, to your bone structure, to your hairline. So this placement is unique totally to your head, because no head is the exact same shape and size. So it's customized and placed for you specifically in the areas where it's going to be comfortable, seamless, but still fill in all the right areas and offer a solution to the problem areas that you're looking for. So that customization, it also comes with a lot of knowledge, a lot of practice and experience, and making sure that they're investing in their method and what the service that they're offering. So you want to make sure that this, again, is something that they're practicing, that they've taken models on and have trained to be able to master my really crappy hairline versus someone with fuller hair that maybe is just looking more for length versus someone that has a big split down the back of their head. Whatever it may be, the customization, it is tailored, hand tailored just for you, which again is a little bit more time consuming, a little bit more education, but a way better experience. And all of these factors are very important when it comes to NBR and the NBR difference. Lastly, the results. The results speak for themselves when it comes to natural beaded rose. There is no other method that beats the #1 natural looking results of natural beaded rose. And that's why it's a trigger word right now. And a lot of hairstylists are saying that they're NBR certified or saying that they offer this method. So you land in their chair hoping that you're gonna walk out looking like a Pinterest picture, but they might have learned how to do beaded rose on YouTube. Or they went to a knockoff class and maybe didn't invest properly in their education to make sure that they're keeping the integrity of the method. Like I said, natural beaded rose is super detail oriented, and to make sure that it's keeping the health of your hair, the safety of this method, and the natural results, all of these fine details, the placement, the coloring, the tension, the beads, the sewing, all of that, it is all encompassing to create a natural seamless blend with your natural hair. So no one can tell where your natural hair ends and the extensions begin. But it's all of these factors that add up. So you can't cut corners and still get the #1 result for hair extensions. So hopefully this video has dropped a couple knowledge bombs on you as to what exactly are you investing in when you're choosing to go the route of natural beaded rose. Because let's be honest, there are a lot, hundreds of different extension methods out there, and a lot cheaper methods too. But like my grandmother used to always say, you get what you pay for. And some people are willing to invest the money in natural beaded rose for the peace of mind and the integrity of their natural hair, where others might be fine using tape-ins or traditional extension methods. So that's why it is a luxury item. It isn't for everyone. It doesn't speak to every person. But for those of you that are looking to make that investment in natural beaded rose, because it is so steep, it's more than just doing your research and finding an artist closest to you. You want to make sure that your artist is totally invested in their education and in you as a client and your experience before going ahead and dropping a few thousands of dollars with them. Because with natural beaded rose, I always like to tell my guests and my clients, we're stepping into a relationship. Beyond just a client and stylist relationship, you're gonna come to see me every 6 to 8 weeks, and you're gonna be very vulnerable in my chair once I remove your hair and everything's gone. It's a little vulnerable. You feel a little naked there. So you want to make sure that you have an artist that you feel comfortable with and that connects with you, and you guys share the same style and vision, because this person is creating, I always like to say, an alter ego. I always encourage my guests, I'm like, go ahead and name your hair, girl, because you are going home brand new. And it truly is that. So you want to make sure that this new image that you're designing is with a person that you really trust and that is worth the investment, so you can have the experience that you're dreaming of. So if you guys have any comments or questions, please let me know. But that is a huge topic that I really just wanted to touch on. Everyone wants to know, why is NBR so expensive? It's really a different price point, a unique maintenance, really different than anything else out there on the market. And there are reasons for that. And I just wanted to shine a little bit of light on it. So thank you so much for watching it today. Hopefully you found this video valuable. If any of this resonated with you and you'd like to land in my chair, please feel free to fill out my online application. It takes 5 to 10 minutes, super easy. You can find the link to my application on my website in the description of this video. So again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned because I'm gonna be coming at you with a lot more content. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment on what you'd like me to share with you.